Continuing on with the series I've been doing on this Gothic gauntlet, I'm going to take a look now at this back plate, the one that the thumb attaches to. It pulls the whole thing together. I may add an extra lame in here, trim this one down, and add an extra in for some style points, but I'm undecided on that. But that won't affect this too much, maybe just trim a little bit off of the back edge there. It's a fairly straightforward plate to do. It's good to get it nice and snug on there because it really sets the whole piece off. If this is shaped nicely, the whole gauntlet then comes together, in my opinion. So let's take a look at how we're going to turn this into that roughed out piece there. As with so much armour, it's not as simple a job as just bending that round on there and making it fold over the hand. We want to pick up this curvature here, where the roll on the hand is there. So we want to put that into this metal work as well. We don't want it too much because it'll look like a bubble on top of the hand. But if you look at the originals, there's a lovely curvature to this, and that's how you get that fall off of the hand that we're so desperate to make sure that we get. So what I'm going to do, I've seen it a dozen times before in my videos, there's a slight bit in there, a slight dip in there. I'm going to pass this across and then onto a wooden former to make it a bit more obvious, and then I'll smooth it back out a touch. So I've given that a quick pass on the tool behind me, and I've started to put in a little bit of curvature that way. So obviously our hand does have a roll across the knuckles, and a little bit of curvature that way, which I'm now going to accent by using this hollow. So it does go a bit sort of like a bubble to begin with, but we flatten that out and tease it back to where it needs to be. I'm working through the middle here, don't worry too much about the edges. So after about a minute, less than that possibly, on the wooden former over there, you see I've added that curvature in that I'm after, that's across there. And what I want to do is just even it out. Now I'll come back to this metal former, like I say there's a slight recess in there. Same hammer, and just even it out a touch, just work the whole surface until it's nice and planished and smooth. The first thing I want to work out with this is where the fall is going to be for these parts here. Now these are the knuckles that we worked out before. I've trimmed the ends off a touch, but I haven't really done much else with them, to be fair. Wishing I kind of had now because I can see this flute's a bit out, but we'll get to that as we go. So first of all, what's kind of important is to find the middle of this. It's all very approximate at the moment. As long as I've got enough material to go under each side, then we're good. So that's about my middle there. And there are just about the marks for this fall off of the knuckle plate there. So I'll do is just mark that in. It tapers a bit, but not too much. You fit your hand in there. It's not much use marrying it up with a wrist yet because the wrists are still quite flat. This needs to be crushed down to about half its size. Well, not quite half, about 2/3. I started to do it with this one. You can see how different they are. In fact, that one will fit quite lazily over the top. So don't worry about what the back's doing yet. We'll get to that when we need to. So I've got that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push these edges over. Quite easy, just on the T-stake there, and then we'll see how it fits inside. So with a soft facing hammer on a nice rounded stake, you don't want something too abrupt like that. Remembering you're trying to preserve that curvature there, so don't just smack it because you'll just knock it out. So start with it slightly off and just pull it over. Ease off any corners that go in there hard, we don't want them in. So as you go in, just think of that. Don't worry too much about what the back's doing, just keep it out of the way. Time to set all of that will be later. So there we go, it's a bit flat across there. Might get to be a bit more raised. Just about. It's going to need a bit more, but let's have a look, see where we're at. There we go. Fabulous. Now, the knuckles here, where we've got to with them, currently are quite square. There's no fall that there is on the human in this metalwork, so we need to put that in. So, I might be able to do it on here. Just about. Remember, you've got a rise at the back here on this side because you've got the two larger knuckles, so it's nice to see that in the work. A bit of a twist appearing. We can get that out easy enough by clamping it in the vise and just pulling it the direction we need. So again, no need to fret. There we are. Getting that edge down. Don't worry too much about what the fingers are doing at this stage because we can sort them out. As long as they're not doing anything crazy, you'll be fine. We're looking at this back edge, that's a bit nicer. Just going to touch that down, it's a bit rounded there. There we go. Right, let's have another look. What I've done here is I've written where the thumb's going to be, so I make sure I get this the right way around. Okay. Lovely, so let's open this up. Made it a bit narrow. There we are, it's starting to get there now. What I'm going to do is ease these off. So do a bit of fiddling around with these. And then we'll show how we get this inside there. So I'm just going to tidy these up a touch.